Okay, I'm gonna make a quick video here. I'm gonna jump right to the fix and then I'll get into a little bit of detail. If you're anything like me, you want to fix and just tell me what the hell I did that fixed it so I can move on. And then if you want to listen to me blabber on later, whatever. So this is a 2018, this is gonna apply to a 17 to 20 F250, 350, maybe even the F150s. This is a 6.2, but I believe this will actually apply to the diesels as well. This truck came in with this code, U0109, lost communication fuel pump control module, P025A fuel pump performance module A control circuit open. The complaint was the truck would randomly not start. It would die, but it then start back up, but then it just got worse and worse till the point it just would never start. Even when it came here, it wouldn't start. The fix was a fuel pump relay that I wired in to bypass the fuse panel. Here's why. They're not serviceable. The fuel pump relay was the issue, and you cannot change them in these fuse panels. So we bypassed it. We cut the wires off from here and run it to here. Fixed problem. Truck runs like it should. No more engine light. Now, if that's all you need to know and you can go in and wire it, all you have to do is attack these two wires here. This purple with green, and then there's a yellow wire. But I'm going to get into this in a bit, why this yellow wire can be deceiving. But these are the two wires you need to focus on. And wire in your relay, and you'll be back on the road if this is your problem. So here's how I came to it. Truck was towed in, run a scan, these two codes as I mentioned. First thing I did, if you own a Ford truck, you should pretty much have one of these in your glove box. This is a fuel pump control module. I just have these in my shop. Plugged it in, didn't fix it. It was a quick, easy thing. More times than not, this does fix it. In this application, it did not, but I have it here. Anyway, so the next thing I did, we just cycled the key, couldn't hear the fuel pump. Now I already know this isn't the issue. So then I went to the plug-in for this. This is the plug-in. Number one, this is the power that feeds it. This will be a purple with green wire. This wire, or violet with green, I guess they're calling it. When you cycle the key on or while you're cranking, this should have power, 12 volts. This truck did not have power. So then I went forward all the way to that fuse box relay, which is here. And at the outlet, I tested right here, no power. And then I tested for ground here. It did have ground. So that means it's got ground. Fuses are good. You can check your fuses. Obviously, it's an easy thing for anyone to do. And I'm not going to get into that. You can Google where the fuses are, what there is. There's two of them you want to mess with. Check those. But I already knew that this was an issue because there was no ground here. I checked those a bit ago. It didn't help me any. So I pulled this unit up, flipped it over, and I could see that that yellow wire was offering me ground to my relay, but nothing was coming out the big purple wire. The purple wire is, I think it's like a 10-ish gauge wire. It's pretty heavy, so it's easy to find. The yellow wire is right beside it in the plug underneath this, but it's not serviceable. So what I did was these two wires. It's a little deceiving. This is, in fact, it labels it here. As you can see, it is violet with green. It is, or I'm just going to call it purple. Purple with green. It's purple with green here. It is purple with green here. That's pretty easy to find. So I cut that wire off. This wire, however, is yellow, but this is labeled. See, it's a 6.2. It says here, and it says on here, I know it's hard to see, it says it's yellow with violet. There is no yellow with violet wire, not in this application anyway. I dug and dug and dug, and then I was able to find here that the gas and diesel have different color wires. Yellow with violet, yellow with gray. There is either of these colors were not on this application. This, in fact, was yellow with green on this one. The easiest way to tell is just get somebody to, while it's still hooked up, flip it over and test it. You'll have to take the bottom off and test it and see, is there ground when you're trying to crank? If that is grounding, that's probably the wire you need. But it is, in fact, yellow with green, or at least on this application it was. So, the easy fix, this became the trigger wire. This was, it's triggered by ground here. It's now triggered by ground with this relay. This is the power outlet that this relay is now putting out, and the power and signal are both wired together. So it's triggered by the ground, just the way the computer wants it to. So it feeds from the BCM to here, but then now goes to that relay. Easy fix. It'll get me out of a bind. You cannot replace just this unit. You have to replace a whole bunch of wiring harness with it. I bet you if you had to buy this from Ford with the harness, it's over $1,000, and then the time to put it in. I have not priced it, but given how easy this fix was, it was a way better way to go. So essentially, the power for here, there's a post on the side here I run it to that's fused, 30 amp fuse. By my God, definitely put a fuse in the power source for this. I know it's not very easy to see. I really do wish I would have done this before, but did a video while I was doing this, but I don't think well trying to commentate either. So I'm just doing it afterwards, but it is pretty simple. Once you flip this over and you see the bottom, you find those two wires. The small yellow is the trigger ground, the purple feeds the fuel pump, and then just power and signals, all you need. And boom, problem solved. These codes are now gone. I've road tested this truck. It works great, as it should. If you need more, if you want to do more testing, this is what the plug-in looks like from the BCM. These are the two wires you're dealing with. And over here, again, you see it's gas or diesel. All this information, anybody could Google. If you can look at this, you could probably read the Google map. But anyway, that is what the plug-in readout is, and that's what the plug-in looks like if you want to do some testing. But regardless, this truck is now fixed. I do believe this is going to apply to diesel and gas because they're pretty close to the same as far as the way they wire the fuel pump control module. So anyway, 6.2 gas. I hope this helps some guys out.